Hi students, good morning to everyone. In this video, we are going to learn Unit 4 Prose Tight Corners, which was written by E.V. Lucas. To be in a tight corner means to be in a difficult situation physically or mentally. A person in a tight corner thinks of different ways of escaping and struggles hard. A physical tight corner refers to a dangerous situation such as being caught by a tide, charged by a wounded tiger, trapped on a top floor of a burning house, or being attacked in the war. Mental tight corner refers to financial situation or some other problem. In this extract, tight corners, E.V. Lucas points out that tight corners can be both mental as well as physical. But the mental tight corner is too much to bear. This story tells us how E.V. Lucas was saved from humiliation by a sudden stroke of luck and relieved from a tight corner. Let's learn about the author. Edward Verrall Lucas, 1868 to 1938. He was an English humorist, essayist, playwright, biographer, publisher, poet, novelist, short story writer, and editor. Born to a Quaker family on the fringes of London, Lucas began work at the age of 16, apprenticed to a bookseller. After that, he turned to journalism and worked on a local paper in Brinton and then on a London evening paper. He was commissioned to write a biography of Bernard Barton, the Quaker poet. This led to further commissions, including the editing of the works of Charles Lamb. Lucas joined the staff of the humorous magazine Punch in 1904 and remained there for the rest of his life. He was a prolific writer, most celebrated for his short essays, but he also produced verses, novels, and plays. Now let's say the title of this lesson, Tight Corners. What is a tight corner? What happens when one finds oneself in a tight corner? A tight corner means a difficult situation from which it is hard to escape. When one finds oneself in a tight corner, one worries and thinks seriously about the ways of getting out of it. So he will not know how to get out of that situation and he will put himself in a terrible state of mind. Okay. So physical tight corners are those situations which threaten the lives of an individual. A physical tight corner means trapped in a dangerous situation caused by external forces. It is like being caught by a tide, trapped on a top floor of a burning house, hit by an explosive discharge from a submarine. Mental tight corner means trapped in a very difficult financial situation, usually caused by self. So mental tight corners are worries for which no solution is in sight. It upsets the individual and confounds them. In Tight Corners, E.V. Lucas narrates the story of how he was rescued from humiliation at an auction house by a sudden stroke of luck. Let's read on and get to know how he got himself in a tight corner and found his way out of that situation. Let's learn the first paragraph. The talk was running on the critical situations in which we had found ourselves. Those of us whose lives were adventurous enough to comprise any. The author and his friends were talking about the critical situations, the difficult situations in which they had found themselves, that their lives were adventurous enough to be composed of. One man had been caught by the tide in Brittany and escaped by the skin of his teeth. Another had been on an elephant when a wounded tiger charged at it. A third had been on the top story of a burning house. A fourth was torpedoed in the war. So one man told that he escaped very narrowly from a tide in Brittany. Brittany is a place, a region in the coast of northwest France. Another had been on an elephant while a tiger charged at it. A third person had been on the top story of a burning house. A fourth man was escaped from a missile attack in a war. But you all talk, said one of the company, as though tight corners were always physical affairs. Surely they can be tighter when they are mental. The tightest corner ever in was at Christie's. So at the time, one of them commented that all the three were talking as if tight corners were caused by physical affairs. He continued and told that mental tight corners were very difficult to bear. He told that when he was at Christie's, he had experienced the tightest corner. Christie's? One of them asked him to elaborate about Christie's incident. Yes, I had been launching rather well at a club in St. James Street with an old friend from abroad, and passing along King Street, afterwards he persuaded me to look in at the sale room. The place was full. They were selling Barbies and pictures and getting tremendous sums for each, 2,000, 3,000 for little bits of things. Forest scenes, pools at evening, shepherdesses, the regular subjects. Okay. So the narrator then started telling them he had taken a lunch at a club in St. James Street with his friend who came from abroad. While they were crossing King Street, his friend took him to a sale room. The hall was full. They were selling Barbies and pictures for tremendous prices, huge prices. It seemed that the minimum amount is 2,000. They also sold pictures such as forest scenes, pools at evening, shepherdesses, and other regular subjects. Nothing went for three figures at all. Well, we watched for a little while and then I found myself bidding two just for fun. I had exactly 63 pounds in the bank and not enough securities to borrow 500 on. And here I was nodding away to the auctioneer like a plutocrat. So nothing sold for an amount with three digits. They watched the sale for a moment. Then the narrator started bidding just for fun. He had only 63 pounds, that too in the bank. He had no securities even to borrow 500. In this condition, he was bidding like a plutocrat. Plutocrat means a wealthy person, okay? So a fat and rich person of high station. So this term coined by E.V. Lucas by blending the words bloated and aristocrat, that is plutocrat, okay? So Christie's auction was full. So the auction house was selling Barbies and pictures and getting tremendous sums for each. Some were sold for 2,000 and some for 3,000 pounds. It was surprising to observe that all the sold items were little bit of things like forest scenes, pools at evening, shepherdesses, and the regular subjects. So the author behaved like a gambler. He risked high banking. Okay. In reality, he should have a minimum balance of 500 pounds in his bank account to be eligible to a bidder in the actions. Okay. You will get caught, my friend said to me. No, I shan't, I said. I'm not going to run any risk. And for a long time, I didn't. And then a picture was put up and a short red-faced man in a new top hat, some well-known dealer who had bought quite a number, electrified the room by starting the bidding at a figure of little higher than any of that he had it given or that anything had reached. So his friend warned him that he would be caught. For that the narrator gave a reply that he would not be caught because he was not going to take any risk. Then for a long time he didn't bid. But when a picture was put up, a short red-faced man shocked the room by the way of bidding at a higher value. The narrator guessed that the man might be a dealer as he had bought quite a number of items. Okay. Although the previous lots had run into 4 figures, they had all been modestly started at 50 guineas or 100 guineas. with a gradual crescendo to which I had often been safely contributing. But no sooner was a new picture displayed than the dealer made his sensational bid 4,000 guineas, he said. So the prices for the previous lots were started modestly at 50 guineas or 100 guineas. For those items, the narrator had safely raised the bid to a higher price. But when the new picture was displayed, the dealer made his sensational bid for 4,000 guineas. So E.V. Lucas learned that an action was in progress. His friend suggested that they peeped in to watch the fun. So despite the caution from his friend, he started bidding at moderate rates. He had only 63 pounds in his account. So a bidder was supposed to have a minimum of 500 pounds to take part in the bid. As bidding for most of the paintings were started with 2 or 3 digit in guineas, the author sailed through raising the stakes of many paintings and staying behind watching millionaires bid with higher prices. So but one painting was launched at an offer price of 4,000 guineas. There was a rustle of excitement, and at the end of it I heard my own voice saying, "And 50." A terrible silence followed, during which the auctioneer looked inquiringly first at the opener and then at the company generally. So there was a muffled sound of excitement in the hall. So the narrator raised the bid by 50. For those items, the narrator had safely raised the bid to a higher price, but when the new picture was displayed, the dealer made his sensational bid for 4,000 guineas. So there was a muffled sound of excitement in the hall. The narrator raised the bid by 50. So then a terrible silence was prevailing there. The auctioneer looked curiously first at the opener and then normally at the company. To my surprise and horror, the red-faced dealer gave no sign of life. I realized now, as I ought to have done at first, that he had shot his bolt. But to the narrator's surprise, nobody else bade after that. So the narrator was horrified. The red-faced dealer simply kept silence, as if he had exhausted in his biddings. 4,050 guineas offered, said the auctioneer, again searching the room. So the auctioneer once again announced the bid amount of 4,050 guineas and searched the room to check anybody else was interested to bid further. My heart stopped, my blood congealed. There was no sound but a curious smothered noise from my friend. So the narrator's heart stopped and his blood thickened, as if it was frozen due to fear. There was no sound except a curious suppressed noise from his friend. 4,050 guineas. Any advance on 4,050 guineas? And the hammer fell. So the auctioneer repeated the bid amount of 4,050 guineas and asked any more bid for the picture. There was no response. The hammer fell to indicate that the deal was closed for the highest bid amount of 4,050 guineas. So there was a nice pickle to be in. Here was I, with 63 pounds in the world and not 500 pounds worth of securities, the purchaser of a picture which I didn't want, for 4,050 guineas, the top price of the day. So the narrator was in a troublesome and difficult situation. There was a nice pickle, that means a troublesome and difficult situation. He was a man with only 63 pounds and not 500 pounds worth of securities. In this status, he was the purchaser of a picture which he didn't want for a top price of 4,050 guineas. He unwittingly got into a mental tight corner. He could not find ways as how to raise such a huge amount.